Hello, welcome to this update. Let's see the severe weather and some more stuff for the U.S. and Canada. So first, the severe weather for the U.S. We have three slight risks today, one in Washington and Oregon, another slight risk in Utah, northern Arizona, another slight risk in Ohio, parts of western West Virginia, a big part of Kentucky, and northern Tennessee, and a marginal risk in parts of Nebraska and South Dakota, a marginal risk from Northern California to Washington, a marginal risk in parts of Nevada, uh, Utah, southwestern Wyoming, and Arizona, and a marginal risk from Texas to New York. So, and the general risk of thunderstorms. So let's see. Wind threat is 15% in the three slight risks and 5% in all the marginals. So 15% in Utah, in Washington and Oregon, and in Kentucky, Ohio, and Tennessee, and the 5% there. So be aware. Tornado threat is less than 2%. Yesterday they had a 2% for Kentucky today, but they removed it. But be aware. Anyways, you never know. And the hail threat is 15% in Washington and Oregon, 5% in the plains, and 5% from northern Georgia to Ohio. So be aware. But the main thing is the wind. So let's see. Scarce severe thunderstorms possible today in the vicinity of the Cascades of Oregon, Washington, Kentucky, and Utah. Wind and hail the primary threats. So be aware for today. For tomorrow, there's a marginal risk in parts of Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, parts of Nebraska, eastern Wyoming, Colorado, and Kansas. So, and there's a slight risk from Arkansas to North Carolina, and a marginal risk from Kansas to New Jersey. So a large area there, and a general risk of thunderstorms in some other areas. So let's see. Tornado threat is still less than 2% tomorrow, but you never know. Be aware. Wind threat is 15% in the southeast and 5% in the plains. And hail is a smaller 15% in Mississippi and Alabama and Arkansas, and a 5% in some areas of the marginal. So stay safe there. And let's see. Scared strong thunderstorms associated with severe threat will be possible Sunday into the mid-Atlantic and Carolinas, westward into the southeast, and in parts of the central and northern plains. So be aware for tomorrow. Let's see. So today's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday. So for day 3, there are 3 marginal risks. One in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska, Wyoming and Colorado. Another one in Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana, and Arkansas. Another one in North Carolina and Virginia, parts of Maryland, I think, and Delaware. So be aware there. Thunderstorms associated with a marginal severe threat will be possible Monday in parts of the Mid-Atlantic, North Carolina, and from central to the northern high plains. So stay safe. Let's see. So day 4 through 8, there's nothing, but the fire threat is pretty high today. So there are 2 critical areas in parts of Oregon and Nevada and northeasternmost California, and elevated from Nevada to Oregon and Idaho and California. So stay safe, and isolated dry thunderstorms possible in parts of Oregon and Washington. So be aware there. Some isolated dry thunderstorms possible. And let's see. For day 2, there are 2 areas of elevated in Nevada, California, and Oregon, and southern Idaho. So be aware there. Let's see. The model for the storms today. So there's still that low pressure there in Michigan, bringing some storms there, and to Ohio, Tennessee, and those areas, especially later this afternoon in Tennessee, North Carolina, and in South Carolina there. Even some in the south, but mainly shows more in Tennessee, to Kentucky, and some in West Virginia. So be aware. A storm or two in Maryland, and shows more storms there. A storm or two in Michigan, but not very strong. In Indiana as well, southern Ontario. More a storm or two through western New York, southern Quebec, and yes, be aware. Let's see. In the west, there's a lot of stuff. So first, those big storms in Utah there. Be aware there. More through Mexico, some heavier ones there. And let's see, through Wyoming, some more storms in Utah, going to southern Idaho. And then that system in the Pacific Northwest bring those stronger storms there in Oregon and southern Washington. So stay safe. Today's Friday, today's Saturday the 17th. So stay safe. Let's see. The map for today: severe thunderstorms, critical fire, and heavy rain. So be aware. For Sunday, tomorrow, and for Monday, let's see. Precipitation for for today, more in the east, a lot in the east there. Let's see, the south, some South Florida too, and a lot across Utah and Arizona and Oregon and Washington, California. So be aware. Day 2, Sunday, shows more across the east, especially the mid-Atlantic into Canada, and more across the southeast, Florida, and still in the west and northwest there. Monday shows more across the east still. Let's see, still some in the south and the plains in the west. Tuesday, no, yes, so day 3 was Tuesday, so this is Wednesday. It shows more in the northwest, western Canada, some in the northwest, some in the southwest, some in the northern plains, and more in the south in the Bahamas and Florida. So let's see, day 5, next Thursday, shows more in Florida there, more in the west, Utah and Colorado, no, Utah, Colorado, and Arizona, and more in the northwest and north. Next Friday, if I'm right, yes. Next Friday shows more in Utah, more parts of the northwest, and some in Colorado, still Arizona, and a lot in Florida there more. Let's see. Day 7, next Saturday, shows more across the south in Florida, and more isolated and some scattered on the west. So day 1 through 7 shows a lot through Utah, through all of those days, 1 through 7, northern Arizona, a lot in the northwest there, more in the plains, in the northeast shows a lot, especially Pennsylvania to New York, and shows a lot for southern Florida, some other areas there. So stay safe. Excessive rainfall, a marginal for southern Florida, a marginal from Louisiana west to Oklahoma and north to New York and Michigan and all the states in between, and a marginal in Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Nevada and Idaho and Wyoming, a marginal from California to Washington, and a slight in parts of northern Arizona and southern and central southern Utah, and a slight in New York and Maryland. No, that's Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, Maryland, today a slight. So be aware there. For Sunday, tomorrow shows another slight for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, parts of Delaware, Maryland, Northern Virginia, and New York, and a marginal in southern Florida and from Georgia to Vermont, and a marginal from Arizona to Idaho. Monday shows a marginal from Arizona to Wyoming, and a marginal from Maryland to Maine. Next Tuesday shows the east still kind of quiet and shows a marginal in parts of Arizona, California, Utah, and Colorado. And next Wednesday shows a marginal in California, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, and Nevada. So be aware there. Let's see. Wait, here. So let's see. Still some dangerous heat across the south, lots of majors and extreme heat risk there. Saturday, Sunday more extreme in Texas, Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, still some extremes Monday. Still more extremes confined to Texas or Louisiana, moderates in the southwest and some majors in Florida, the heat risk. Tuesday shows more extremes in Texas, many areas there, so be aware. Wednesday shows still some extremes in Texas, some majors further north and moderates. Thursday, still some extremes in eastern New Mexico and Texas. And next Friday, a small area, but still some extremes in Texas and some moderates further north in the southeast and southwest. So stay safe. Let's see. So day 3 through 7 shows heavy rain in parts of the Rockies, the west and the southwest and the Great Basin. Excessive heat in the south there, and heavy rain in the northeast. Day 3 through 7 hazards. Day 8 through 14 shows more excessive heat above the normal temperatures. A rapid onset drought, so be aware. Let's see. So the temperatures, maximum temperatures for today, so 90s in the north there, some 100s in the south, so 90s in the southwest, southeast, and 100s on the southwest there, so more 90s across the plains and even some in the Ohio Valley. So be aware there. For Sunday, tomorrow shows more hundreds across the plains, so Oklahoma and Texas especially. Stay safe there. More 90s in the north, 100 on the southwest, and some 90s on the southeast. Let's see. Next Monday shows more hundreds in the south there in Texas and Oklahoma, especially Texas. More 90s in the north and hundreds in the southwest. Even some 90s parts of the west and 90s on the southeast. Day 4, next Tuesday, shows more hundreds on the south, southwest, and 90s on the southeast and more in the north. Next Wednesday shows more 100s on the south, more 90s across the plains on the north, 100s on the southwest, 90s in California, and in the southeast. Day 6 shows more 100s across the south, still some 90s in the plains, up to 107 in Texas, more 100s in the southwest, some 80s and 90s across the west, and 90s in the southeast, and some 80s for the north, and some 70s in the northeast. And day 7, next Friday, shows more 100s on the south, and more in the southwest, 90s in the north and southeast. So stay safe from the heat. The 24-hour max winds for Saturday, today, shows more gustier winds in northern northwestern Nevada, might be a concern for those wildfires. More gusty winds northeastern California, so be aware. Those reds there are like almost some 50 miles per hour, so and even more. Let's see. A gusty wind or two in the northern plains, New York, there, and especially in Oregon, Washington, parts of the west, some more gusty winds. But it's just the winds themselves. This doesn't consider the severe weather. So of course, those thunderstorms might have stronger winds than this. So stay safe. The hazards show flood watches parts of Hawaii, some wind warnings central Alaska, and flood watches in Alaska too, in western Alaska. Some small craft advisories in Hawaii, coastal flood statements. Let's see, flood watches in Oregon and Washington, flood watches in Utah and Arizona, heat warnings through the south and heat advisories, air quality advisory in parts of the plains and north because of the wildfire smoke from Canada, more flood watches in Pennsylvania, and red flag warnings throughout the west, and wind advisories. So be aware. Let's just see something I found interesting. So let's see. This is the CEO concentration like of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and it shows all that dense carbon dioxide from the fires in Canada and spreading to the northern U.S. the smoke there. So be aware too. Let's see now the storm threat for Canada. It shows Some severe possible in southern Saskatchewan and Alberta, maybe a funnel cloud or two, and some hail and heavy rain and strong winds. Let's see some other general thunderstorms for Alberta and Saskatchewan. Day two. Let's see if this updates. So here, so let's see. So there's no day two yet. So let's see just for today. So in Ontario, show some stronger storms possible in southern Ontario, including Toronto, maybe some severe possible. Let's see some rain, hail, and strong winds. Let's see. Shows some general risk of thunderstorms in other areas. In Quebec, nothing big in Quebec today. Atlantic Canada shows some severe possible in parts of Labrador and some general risk of storms there. So be aware, some stronger storms there. Western Territories, some rain possible there from some storms. British Columbia, what day is today? Here, shows more storms, some general storms for southern British Columbia. Maybe a war spout or two in the channel there, and shows near midnight. So let's see, be aware. And for Sunday, they have it some more general storms possible. So be aware there. Let's see. These hazards change all the time, but let's see. There I have some severe thunderstorm watches in northern in parts of Labrador. Conditions favorable to develop severe thunderstorms can produce strong winds, gusts, and heavy rainfall. Potential hazards include rainfall range 25 millimeters per hour or higher, wind gusts 70 to 90 kilometers per hour, nickel-sized hail. So be aware. Continuing until this evening. So it might be happening already. Some warnings there. Severe thunderstorm. So stay safe. Let's see some special air quality statements for the smoke there in Quebec again. More special weather statements for significant rainfall through Sunday in parts of southern Ontario and southern Quebec. And those reds are severe thunderstorm warnings there already, and even tornado watch. So they actually have a tornado watch in parts of southern Ontario. Conditions for develop severe thunderstorms which may produce tornadoes, strong winds, large hail, and heavy rain also possible. Tornadoes, 90 km per hour wind gusts, 20 size hail, and heavy downpours today through this evening. So be aware, like some heavy rain, a tornado or two, and some strong winds mainly. So and some rainfall warnings there. So local rainfall amounts 50 to 100 millimeters, 40 millimeters per hour, and severe thunderstorm warning, like I told you. So let's see some more special air quality statements for the wildfires in Manitoba, Saskatchewan. Be careful with the smoke, the visibility, air quality advisory. Be careful with your health. Let's see more air quality advisors there, and special air quality statements, British Columbia there. So stay safe. Let's see. The European model has some showers, maybe some storms today in British Columbia and Alberta and Saskatchewan, but mainly in Alberta there's some more storms this afternoon. Tomorrow that system comes from the U.S., brings more storms to, to British Columbia, more rain there, maybe a snow or two in a high peak, and shows continuing through Monday, still some rain, isolated to scattered storms, and that low pressure goes through Tuesday there, bringing more storms through Saskatchewan and Alberta, and more rain there through Tuesday next Wednesday. So let's see. Central Canada today shows that's nothing big, just some thunderstorms possible in Saskatchewan this afternoon, some showers and storms in central northern Ontario, and more there. So this is Sunday the 18th. Shows a lot of heavy rain through Ontario there and Quebec. So let's see. And but in mainly central Canada shows next Monday some more storms. Saskatchewan, Manitoba, but by next Tuesday the low pressure comes, some stronger storms there. So and even by next Wednesday and Thursday. So be aware. And now eastern Canada, there's that low pressure in Michigan, bringing those strong storms today in Ontario and those heavier rains. Then it continues in Quebec there. By Sunday, some very widespread rainfall across Quebec, going to Labrador, More rain there as that low pressure goes off Canada. Still the front there, going through Quebec and Ontario and New Brunswick as Cyclone Ernesto passes by eastern Newfoundland there, and then the front continues into Labrador and Newfoundland and goes out by next Wednesday. So it ends by next Wednesday probably, but later we might have some more systems. So be aware today in southern Ontario and tomorrow through Quebec and everything, and be careful in Cape Grace and eastern Newfoundland because of Cyclone Ernesto there, and in Saint Pierre and Miquelon it might affect you. So let's see something else. So that's the smoke, through Quebec, the U.S. there. So stay safe. Wind gusts in Newfoundland from Ernesto there. Let's see, by Monday, it starts approaching by Monday, and even before this gets there, there'll be some rough surf, some rip currents, so be careful. There's St. Pierre and Miquelon, and there's St. John's. So let's see. So by by early by like Monday night into early Tuesday, they starts going into Newfoundland, probably some arrive some 60, no, some 70 kilometers per hour winds, 76. Then this keeps going there, might increase in a spot or two, but maybe some 70 kilometers per hour winds. And then let's see, and earlier, by like Monday night, it shows rise some strong winds in St. Pierre Miquelon in southern Newfoundland, but it's mainly there in the eastern tip of Newfoundland, as this passes by some 59 kilometers per hour in St. John's and 67 there. So stay safe there. Let's see. The GFS has a similar thing too, some 78 kilometers per hour there as it passes by. And rainfall, let's see. Ernesto will start bringing the rainfall there from mainly Monday, so it shows like Monday there. So let's start this today, and mainly like Monday to Tuesday it shows the rainfall from Ernesto close to 40 millimeters in eastern Newfoundland there. So let's see, just verify one thing. So this will affect there like Monday to Tuesday. Sorry if I said Sunday, but it's Monday the 19th into Tuesday there. So be aware. And then let's see, maybe a gusty wind or two in Quebec and Labrador, and inside those storms as well. And stay safe. So let's see, some hotter temperatures in the south there, especially in Saskatchewan and Alberta, showing close to some 30s in Saskatchewan. Let's see, this is the GFS, the European showing some 30s too on Sunday. Let's see, so some 20s in other areas there, some slight 20s in other areas. So, and colder at night. So let's see. Yeah, this is mainly it. So let's just see one more thing. So the her a little bit more up close. So for today it shows the storms in Michigan and Ontario, but they start going. They already happening some, but they keep going through southern Ontario. Show some very strong cells there. Be aware, some hail, tornado, and some wind. So be aware they keep going through this evening, and tomorrow going to Quebec there, and get stronger tomorrow afternoon again. But these cells today in Ontario are the concerning ones. So let's see a stuff or two in the west, and more across the western US there, and in those areas. So stay safe. Southern Florida too, some storms in the Bahamas. So yeah, this is mainly it. Stay safe.